Welcome YouTube to B's first installation, my little garage here. Today I'm working on a 2010 Chevy Traverse, working on the AC compressor, and there are not a lot of good videos on YouTube or anywhere. It's not a hard job. I believe anybody can get it done as long as they have a basic set of tools and a little bit of shade tree knowledge. So this particular go around here is what we got. Here we are. So before you start off, you're going to have this big old guy in the way. It's going to be right here. You're going to have your motor plastic pretty shield in the way. Pops right up once you take your oil cap off. Unscrew the oil cap, it pops up. Throw it to the side, put your oil cap back on. Don't want that to be forgotten. And get whatever down in there. So you're going to start off by taking this guy out. It's going to be right in here. You're going to see it there. You got 2 bolts. Pops it up, comes out of the way. Pop your little hose off there. Take it somewhere. Set it aside. Step 2. You have this little bracket here holding your low side pressure line steel. Right there. Pop it. Put your bolts back in so you ain't got to think about them and forget them. You head on down. You're going to have this big guy. Your high pressure side. It's going to be held in by 113 bolt. But it's going to be located plumb right there where that void of space, you see the light through there now, is going to be your AC compressor, and that guy is going to be bolted into it with the 13. On down in there, you're going to have your low pressure side. See that hole? That little guy doesn't have to move much out of the way. You just have to unbolt it. It's a 13. Let it sit there. Also on this high pressure line, you got this bracket right here. It needs to be undone. It's located on the side of your alternator. There we go. This little guy, it's a 10. Just put it back in so you don't forget it. Don't lose it. I'm going to come on down here. Here's where a couple more steps is going to save you a lot of heartache and cussing at yourself. Pop your tire off, throw your lug nuts on. That feels a lot better to bang your head on with those on there, because you're going to. Your wheel well, this looks super bare because I've taken this off of this side. So all you have is the little push buttons. Got all these little push buttons. You pop this part out with a flat head, or one of these little fellas, works pretty good. Whatever you got, you don't need something special. And a few Phillips screws that will hold it in. Along the top here, there's 2 screws here. The rest of them are little pop buttons. You got 2 little pop buttons here that are going to hold a little rubber flappy do. If you're looking at yours right now, you're going to see it. And a couple more buttons under here. Then yours will look something like mine. Next, it'd be nice if this is already laying on the ground for you, but it won't be. It's going to be up in there, tucked in tight. So if we looked at this guy just like this, is how it's sitting right there. Okay, everybody, you can reach these. These are the lines that go to your, that you're going to unbolt to get them hoses out of the way. One hose goes to this one with one little bolt, and that bigger line that was up on top there that I showed you is bolted to this one, also a 13. You got one little plug on the top. Undo it, get it out of the way, and do that from the top side. Okay, so you're going to be able to undo these 2 13s from the top side. Reach down in there and you feel around and you strain and it feels real awesome. You take these two guys out, no problem. They're not tight, but they are long bolts. So they're going to come on out a good long ways. You got to get to the bottom here where it's going to get funner. Trying to show you here since nobody showed me a good angle. This is the one closest to me, and that guy right there, you're going to have to reach by rolling under this car and reaching up in there with a good light and finding it, putting your 13 with an extension on it. That guy right there, that's all you need. Little set. It'll pop this one out. See, with all this other plastic in the way, you can't do it this way. But if you take this wheel well out, you don't have to worry about having this 5.5 little size here to pop this stud out. You can just leave the stud in there. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. It's one less step with a tool. It's a lot easier to pop the buttons out, which is what slides in this. This kind of lines you up with that stud too. So that is held on there by a little nut. It's laying around here somewhere. It's probably under this. There it is. That little nut right there laying next to my drill and wrench is what's going to go over top of that. That'll be the last thing you take off, that little nut. You'll be able to, all while almost sitting up, you'll be able to kick that dude out and pull it out of this hole right here. This big old hole you've made because you've taken all the wheel well stuff out of the way. It'll come falling right out of there. And of course, before you undo any of your bolts, you want to loosen up your serpentine belt. I'll get down in here. You don't have to take that belt all the way off and give yourself a headache making sure you got everything going the right way. I know you can look up a diagram real easy, but it's also real easy just to not do that and just kind of leave it dangling the right way on all the wheels. It's not going to be in your way anymore. Right there's that little hose that is just going to, that I showed you on the top side. That's just, my camera would focus. It's just going to be sitting there, not doing a thing, not bothering you. Here's your plug that I said to undo. It's just sitting there. It's not going to go nowhere. You got that dude out of the way, sitting on the ground, and reverse that order. Set it back on that stud. Bolt it, snug it down. Get your other 3 in there. Put your plug in. Hook your hoses up from the top. Get your serpentine belt back on. And put all your plastics back in. And you're a done job. Get it filled back up. Next, we're going to be doing the struts.